This program is brought to you in part by SalCal Real Estate Connections. Yes, welcome to Racing Action Today. We're here today with famous race car icon from Plainville Stadium, Dave Alkus, as we continue from last week's show of the people who have passed away from Plainville Stadium. The poster naturally is going to give you an idea of what this show is about today. As we continue, Dave, with all the people that have passed away, it's kind of unreal, right, to me, and they're very special, every one of them.
You're right.
And
some of them we don't recognize because they either raced a little earlier than we did and stuff. But they all put their laps in over the Plainville, right. And
well,
they
without further ado, I'm going to start with Darrell McCullen, who was actually Arnold McCullen's brother, and who was a famous mechanic, Arnold. And I forget, I don't know if Elton Hill drove for him. I'm not sure.
No, I think Elton Hill drove for him.
Elton Hill, right?
Elton Hill, the summer '74.
That's
and
what
they
I
traveled
thought.
around, and
they
were well recognized all over this, all over New England.
And of course,
Definitely.
Tom Ormsby too, number 4, I think he was. Yeah. Great.
Tom, he moved down to Florida, but he was a promoter of a lot of stuff and a PR man for most people.
Yeah. Then we got Floyd Therian. I don't know who he is. Dave,
No, he was part of that Yellow Jacket group there.
Okay.
The 10, 11, and 12 yellow ones out
All
of
right.
Southington there.
Yeah. The novice cars. I remember them. And then, of course, this guy is kind of famous, Johnny K.
Johnny K.
Drove midget.
Midget driver,
right?
yes. Midget driver. He was very well known. He actually had a hand that was kind of wrenched out on him, you know. He got hurt in a bad
he was good,
accident,
though. He was
but
good
he still could drive even with his imperfection of hand, you know.
And then, of course, the next name, Dave, Seymour the Clown, as we know him.
Yeah,
Butch Ferroni.
One of the Ferroni family.
And he was known as Seymour the Clown at Stafford Speedway.
That's right.
Yeah. And he raced at one time at Plainville.
Yeah.
You remember the car?
Race. Yeah.
It was a 50 Ford, right?
Yeah. The sedan class, or the early novices.
Yeah. Then, of course, another famous person, Max Cavallo.
Right.
The famous dollar sign.
Yep.
Which our friend would go on to race this car.
Yeah, Don Spezzano.
Spezzano would take this car and go on and race it further.
Yeah. He did very well. Would have won a championship the following year. He got hurt pretty bad with that.
Yeah, Max got hurt. Yes.
Yeah, he did. But he,
And Chuck Wilkie. I don't know. I'm not sure who that is.
No, I wasn't too sure either. No.
The next person, Joe Scarzello. I don't know.
Scarzella.
Okay, you know.
Joe Scarzella. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he ran very good at Plainville too. Yeah.
Then we got Hoppy Jensen. I don't know who that is.
That's one that don't ring a bell with me, but I'm sure.
Yeah, he must have ran a Plainville.
Yeah, we got to say some of these here, a lot of these did history on it. Was Don Moon. He got a lot of this. Her and Kathy Moon. Got to give them a lot of credit. They put all that together and getting these names and keeping up on them.
You know, Dave, he was I like to say, the father of Plainville history. I mean,
that's right.
Without any doubt, we lost somebody good there.
Yep.
Without any doubt.
That's for sure. He was a walking encyclopedia.
Yeah. Then we got Hully Bunn.
Hully Bunn, yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he was a modified driver up there. Yeah, he did very well.
All right. Then of course we got Richie and Ray Garudi.
Both of the
famed modified owners and car builders.
That's right, the number 28 there.
And they used to help JoJo and Butch when they were racing.
Yep, they always did,
They always did. And we remember in town with their gas station for years and years.
Yep.
And then another famous name, Gene Bergen, who we remember, Dave, the first time he raced at Plainville, he blew the motor up in Mo's car. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, Gene used to be a famous driver for Bobby Judkins.
Yeah.
They had the 2X out of the box company down there in Meriden.
Yeah.
And they come up to Plainville one time. They had injectors in it, which they only brought up to practice. But boy, that car was flying.
Let me tell you, a lot of people don't know Gene Bergen in high school was the best football player you ever saw. A lot of people never knew that.
Yeah.
And another famous or modified guy who came up through the ranks, Ernie Olson.
Yep, the number 99 from Somersford in
And then
New
his
Britain.
father, was it Red Olson?
That's Red Olson was his father, which is just below him, yeah. Yeah, Red and him. And that was Sandy Rocco was the owner
Beautiful
of the car.
car.
Beautiful car, way ahead of
Number
time.
99.
Yep, black 99.
Had
Beautiful
had
car.
a Ford 289 Cobra motor.
Right, that's right.
Boy, my memory is coming back, buddy.
And we had Ronnie Amfield there.
Yeah, I remember his name a little bit.
Ron ran the Silver Six for Smitty there a couple times too.
Is that right?
Yeah, an old Silver Six there with the pipe down the side. The kids used to run around and listen to boom,
To this day, Dave, I could still see Smitty in his white uniform with GMC Racing on the back to this day.
Yeah. God bless him.
God bless him.
Too. Yeah.
Okay.
And Russ Foss there.
Yep.
Russ, they had number 1, the pink car.
Yes.
He ran that a lot up there.
Yeah.
Another one was Billy Knight. He was very competitive up there.
Yeah.
And you remember Skip Ziegler, right?
Oh, how can I ever forget Skip?
Skip Ziegler, 126 there.
126. And he told me his story, Dave, how he towed the car home to Thomaston using a refrigerator dolly under the right front.
Flat towing,
The
no
flat
other way
toe.
of getting it home. Yeah.
That's right.
And Bob Myers, he was a crew chief in there for inspections and stuff at the track.
Yep.
Bobby Myers, yep. And Wimpy, he was a car owner for the percent sign.
Yeah.
With Ronnie Wyckoff and what's his other name?
I know.
Yeah. And Charlie Burnt.
Yep.
Yeah. Charlie was he was related to the North End group.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
And we had John Spada, which we mentioned before.
Yeah, we did.
And Dean Anderson, they had a nice car over there. They used to run that. Ernie Caruso, he had the 14 from up in Riverside.
yeah, he ended up racing like
He came down during the open shows and stuff.
yeah.
He raced.
Yeah, he was a NASCAR guy.
Then we had Wild Bill Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knew him there, the big coach in the back there. He was from Meriden down there.
Yeah. Bill Slater, you remember him?
Billy Slater, yep.
Yeah.
And then we had Sandy Rocco, who was the owner of
99.
of the 99 for Ernie Olson there.
Yeah,
Built a car and all.
Beautiful car.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wally Curran, I don't know who he was. I don't
know.
Yeah, never heard of him.
Fred?
Pete Brockett, he was up there a lot of times at Plainville. Everybody must have heard of him. The blue car there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, my favorite novice car, Jimmy Smith.
The number 85.
85.
Yeah.
And our buddy owns it today, Carlson.
Ronnie Carlson's got a
Carlson,
duplicate car.
Yeah.
I think it's a duplicate. It isn't the same car.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a reproduction, but boy, it's right to a T.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yep. Billy Kalani.
No, I don't know.
Earl Pelletier.
Yeah, I
he was
remember
the same
him a
way.
little.
I think he even Earl must have chewed the Silver Six.
Yeah.
Smitty had quite a few cars, and he always had that big GMC truck engine in there.
Oh, yeah.
Triple carbs on it. And toward the end, he had a real tricked out head and everything on that thing.
Well,
They were running modified with the guys at Stafford.
Fontana built the motor.
That's right. Yeah, they had a and Jimmy Robertson.
Yep.
It was a crew chief or so for Doc Robinson. Doc
Yeah.
Robinson.
Yeah,
used to
he's
work
here
at
too.
Plainville. Yeah, those are two guys over there.
We got next page for you, buddy. I think we said Larry Creighton already.
Yeah, we had Larry Creighton and William Jerry Misco. He used to drive novice over there. I remember him when he first started. He worked for Grandy Motors down there.
Oh, I didn't
Number
know that.
94, yeah.
Redfoot was kind of a famous guy too, right?
Redfoot was one that also was one that won Cherry Hill over there in Avon. They used to run a lot of it.
Those flathead Fords, right?
Yep. And Don Wilcox.
Yep.
And then Jerry Wheeler, he was related to Bobby Judkins.
Actually, Jerry Wheeler was a famous engine builder.
Yeah.
In his own right.
Yeah.
He was a relative of Judkins?
Yes, he was a relative of Bobby Judkins, yeah. And I think Bobby and him, I mean, they were a team to be reckoned with. I mean, they really put on some shows with them cars.
Wow.
And Skip Calkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skip, he had a modified out there. They're different. Charlie Knox.
Now, is that Don Knox's brother?
I think it's Bobby Knox's brother.
Or that's what I meant.
He's the man. Yeah. Bobby Knox, yeah.
That's the
guy with a little coupe there, the little green one with the
26.
light on the roof and everything.
26. I remember.
Yeah.
The blue light.
And the Booley brothers, George Booley.
Yeah.
And
they had a younger Booley too. It was good.
Yeah. And Louis Lombardo, he was
George's brother.
George's brother, yeah. He used to help him on the car all the time working on it. Yeah, he just did too, not too long ago.
Oh my God.
And everybody knew Don Spazzano.
Well, let me tell you, that man there was a mountain of a man, Dave.
Yeah.
I can still remember him walking through the pits
he was as good as
with his engineer boots on. Oh my God.
Nicest guy you could ever meet.
Junkyard was your best friend.
That's his favorite word. Anytime you interviewed him anywhere, he said, your Junkyard was your best friend.
Yeah.
And of course, Bobby Judkins there.
2X.
2X he used to build all our novice rims down there, down at the box company down in Meriden there. One heck of a fabricator.
He had some of the best drivers in the state drive for him. That I'll tell you.
Then we have Frankie Manafort, the number 76. Manafort brothers, him and John. His brother Jimmy, or John rather. They drove the 76 and the 176 in novice, and Frankie drove the modified in the modified series. Yeah, and then John Stager, he built many cars. I think I
with Ed Flinke.
Yeah, he built cars for them, and even Old Blue over there. He's called them up a couple times to help them. Number 3 there, the one that they used to race up to with
Lenny Bowler.
Freddie DeZero.
Lenny Bowler.
Lenny Bowler.
Fred DeZero.
He called
my
him up
favorite
all the time.
guy. I tell you, Freddie, I miss Dave. He was such a nice guy.
A lot of the guys, I mean, a lot of these, they raced Stafford. And they would come down and play with our money down to Plainville over there.
I used to race like a go-kart thing, and Freddie DeSera used to drive me nuts to drive it.
Yep.
He used to beg me, please, let me try.
Then we had Sonny O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
He was very good. He was a very good driver, yes.
I saw him about a year or two ago.
Yeah.
We were at a Plainville
reunion. He was down in
reunion.
Florida. He even came up from Florida just to come to the Plainville reunions and all. Yep. Joe Fontana.
Yeah, he's famous.
The old
GMC Motors. Oh,
the old engine, that big old GMC engine, truck engine it was. Yeah.
Famous.
And Willie Charette, who used to work on our 74 car, 54, with Roland Sear.
Oh, wow.
He was very influential in helping out Roland Sear with the car and everything and helping us out there. Yep.
All right.
Gary Membrino.
I didn't even know who's he.
Gary raced at Plainville. He raced a lot. And
was he a relation to
Yes, he
Jack?
was. Yeah, he was a relation to him, yep.
Oh, okay.
And we had Russ Robinson, who's he was up from Enfield and all, and he built nice cars, nice, good running cars. I think Ronnie Wyckoff drove for him a couple times and all.
John Kershaw.
And then John Kershaw, he was just in advertising most of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Dave Tracy,
He died?
Dave Tracy.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
He passed away quite a few years ago. He was one of the original founders of the
Plainville Reunion.
Plainville Reunion.
Yeah.
With Gary Winkowski and Don Moon and Kathy Moon.
Yeah, let me tell you, Don Moon was the man when it came to that reunion.
He was the father of history of
That's right.
Plainville.
He was the father of Plainville Reunion.
Yeah.
And history.
And his wife was, you can't cut her short. She did more work behind the sidelines for Don than you realize there. But she didn't care. She didn't want the publicity or anything, to this day even.
Now, who's this? Nick Georgina?
Nick Gardina.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he was out there. And then he raced up Plainville quite a bit. Okay. And we had Walt Smith.
Now, was he was that?
Was
that Smitty? I don't know.
That was Smitty's real name.
Oh, I didn't
Walt
know.
Smith. They call him Smitty all the time, but Walt Smith.
Oh, yeah. I used
had
to
the Silver Six.
I used to tease him. Oh, my God.
Then everybody knows the Petey Hamilton.
Let me tell you, who could forget that?
Yeah.
Pete Hamilton winning the Daytona 500 for driving for Richard Petty.
Yeah.
Who could remember that?
He was a rookie. It was just a shoe in there for it.
Yeah.
And Spud Noble there.
Yeah, we talked
the number
about
one there. He used to run on it. And the next one was Eddie Mack. He used to help everybody out. Reggie Ruggerio's
he was like his godfather.
Idol, yep. And he was his godfather, and he helped him through. He used
to give tires to you too, didn't he?
No, he gave us every time we'd go to races with our novices, we have to pull up over a place on Myrtle Street, his garage, and he'd fill our cars up with fuel every weekend when we went up there.
Really?
And we have Bill Bailey there, hand-painted race cars.
Yeah. Well, that's all gone today.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. All graphics now.
Yeah, they do graphics.
Ray Desar.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. I'm sure he raced there, Plainville and all that. Pat Delavecchi there, number 22. Delavecchi there. That's family Delavecchi Funeral Home there. He was related to them over in Southington. And Rick Sutherland. Yeah, Rick used to be excellent friends and so much with Don Moon and Kathy.
Yeah.
He was couldn't say enough about how much help he did to everyone that was at the track and everything.
Good guy.
Ronnie Wyckoff and all that too. Yeah. Joe Bivico. Yep, the number 18 there. Then, of course, this one was quite famous there. We can't spend enough time on him with Billy Greco.
Let me tell you, Billy was special. He had one of his relatives wrote a book about Wild Bill Greco.
Oh, yeah.
And he was so proud of that book, I'll tell you. And he was special. He used to show up at Plainville and make that Sharky's car fly around that place.
Oh, yeah. Billy was quite. I ran wheel to wheel with him up at Eastern States. It's one of the biggest memories. He always said, I was young then. We came out of Riverside then. Yeah. And he said we were flying low because the cam we had worked good up there. My own car, like 89. And Billy says, hey, kid, take it easy. You're going to get hurt, And he was afraid I'd beat him. Yeah. Well, we went out with a 100-lapper. When they came over the line for the last 25 laps, I could pull them on the outside, but I couldn't chop them down in the corners. And the fault level in the carburetor was a little low. So,
of course, his real fame, though, was at West Haven. He had, I don't know how many championships. Savin Rock.
Yeah, people, we're getting up in time. A lot of the younger people wouldn't remember.
They don't even know what Savin Rock means.
Yeah, but that was what all those fellas down there were.
All right, let's go.
And then we got Ron Vaness, the VO. He had a little gas station there up on West Street over here in Southington there. Yeah, he did very well with that car and all. Nick Nickerson.
Yeah, another guy,
Nicky was out of up in where's that? Toward Milford up that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, then we had Don Moon.
Now, Don Moon, we cannot stress enough how missed he will be.
That's right. Yeah.
He was the father of the Plainville reunion in Plainville history.
That's right.
He still has the cars put together at the house, and we'll never forget him, Dave.
That's for sure. And you can't forget. I know that she's not deceased or anything, but Kathy Moon.
His wife.
You can't. She was side by side with him, and you
And
can't
of course,
say enough about her either.
he drove the flying number 9. You know, they had number 9 with like a wing on.
The Moonified now.
Moonified, yeah.
Okay.
And I'll never forget his 2 uncles.
Yeah.
Came to the racetrack to play with him. He wasn't even 16 yet.
Yeah.
And the 2 uncles were his crew. Oh, my dear.
The next guy I can remember very well, Roland Sear.
Yeah.
He was car owner of the 54.
54. You're a car owner.
I drove that for 10 years, and we put on a good show at Plainville, and he always kept the wheels under me. And he was just a backyard, didn't have a gas station or nothing.
Yeah.
Worked out of the cellar of his house over
Junkyard,
there.
your best friend.
And he had so many friends that liked to help him, and he helped everybody else out. And the last one we had on here was Bob Barberi. Well, not the last, but Bob Barberi. He used to be the 6X that ran Plainville.
Yeah.
And
he
was a track champion. Yeah.
Before you.
Right? Before I came up there, and then of course when I came in there, we were the young guns again, and we kind of took over. And the one that wasn't on here, but we got Ronnie Wyckoff.
Yeah.
I think everybody knew Ron Wyckoff.
He was a great guy.
And Ronnie, he drove a lot of cars for up at Stafford. He drove a lot of them for us. He was all the way from Novice. He came from Hialeah, Florida. I
Well, he used
remember
to
him
drive
coming up.
for the Excavator Specials
Right, he had
in
Simon's.
Cromwell. What was
Simon's.
Simon Brothers.
Yep. Simon's car, the number 9.
Yeah.
He drove the 10 Manchester Sand and Gravel up there at Stafford. He drove for
He drove number
myself.
20 too.
Yeah, he drove
the
the
car
20.
number 20 he drove.
Up till Riverside. Did very well with that. Then he drove the novices. Him and I were team cars. He drove my brother's car to Ed's there, the 87, and I drove the 89.
Hey Dave, I mean back then that was the beginning.
We started there.
That was
in
the
64.
beginning. Right?
That's right.
They were humble beginnings, right?
No, that's for sure. We had a lot of fun up there, and it goes to show you how many people really wanted to be involved with that track. There's 100 and some odd,
130 something.
130 some people in
and
here.
the problem, Dave, there's probably people we don't have their name.
Yeah, if there's anything, we apologize if somebody listening to this program and saying, "Oh, gee, they forgot this or that." We apologize. When they go by a list that they had, and a lot of these they had to get out of the archives to find out. And I'm sure there's some of the cars that ran up there that we never even mentioned, and we feel bad about it. And there's unless we get the information, we just try passing it on. The trouble with all this is it's been a long time since we had Plainville racing.
Yes.
They stopped in the 80s, 1980. And they started in 40, I believe it was 47, 48.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since anything's happened. But we've had a lot of good drivers coming out of Plainville. And everybody complained. They said, if you could drive Plainville, you can drive anywhere.
Yeah, I can remember talking to Reggie, Reggie Ruggiero.
Right.
And he said, Larry, if you could drive a car in Plainville, you could drive it anywhere.
Yeah. And then we even had Stan Greger. He came out of Plainville. And I remember him and I wheel to wheel for the racing there in 1 year. In 1 year, they had 22 races. We had 22 races, and I think I won 11 features, and he won 10 of them. and there was one other where both of us didn't finish or so.
Yeah.
But not bragging though. I'll tell you, we just had fun. We
And
never,
of course, he went on.
never argued.
He went on to race at Riverside too.
He won
and
the
it was very
championship there, yeah.
successful. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's still around. Anytime you run into him, he's a little bit bashful. He don't want to come on any of the shows or anything. But you talk to him on a one-to-one basis, you can't get away from him. He loves it. And been a Bristol car show and all that. You've run across.
And of course, we run into Elton Hill sometime. And,
oh yeah, Elton Hill. Yep.
You know, it's the Plainville reunion is going to continue one way or another.
Yeah.
But without Don, it's going to be tough.
Well, I hear through the grapevines that this year we are going to have another Plainville Stadium reunion.
Yep. Kathy has been excellent, and we're going to have to find help, make sure we get this thing rolling, Dave.
Oh yeah,
and,
definitely.
Of course, this has been fun, Dave, remembering this,
Well, it's not fun to listen to the people that have passed away, but we can't forget them either.
Can't forget them. I mean,
don't
the
forget
memories
these
are
people.
all good. The memories are all good.
They put a lot of time in there and a lot of sweat in there, a lot of tears and a lot of beers, whatever.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of fun. And back in them days, like Don said, everybody worked together and they built the cars basically themselves. So you had to outprove each other.
You didn't go out and buy a car that was built.
No,
I'll tell you.
Someone would come up with a new idea, and the next thing you know, you had to copy it or try it.
Yeah. Well, as a closing point, I want to thank everybody for watching the show, but I'd like you to take a look at that poster and to remember what happened in the day, racing the Wednesday and Saturday night at Plainville Stadium. It was special. We want to thank you for watching the show tonight, and hope to see you again next week on our next episode of Racing Action Today. Thank you. Dave, thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, buddy. This program is brought to you in part by Just Results Weight Loss Center in Berlin, Connecticut.
Sometimes life just happens. Don't worry. Farmington Motorsports will get you back on the road and at a fair price. From towing to tires, emissions to transmissions.
Our ASC certified techs do it all.
Farmington Motorsports is a family-run business. We're a Napa Auto Center and AAA approved. We work on all makes and models from preventative maintenance to major repairs.
And every repair is backed by our 2-year, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty.
When life happens to you, don't worry. Farmington Motorsports.
Follow us on Instagram at nutmeg.tv.